What's up, world? It's your girl, Shirla Pearl, back with another video on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 17, episode 6. And the name of this episode is called Saddle Up and Settle Scores. Yeah. So the episode starts off with Shamia. Oh, let me back it up. Everything I say is alleged, strictly my opinion. If you can get with that, then we good. Let's go. Okay, so the episode starts with Shamina on the phone. She talking to her sister, and she basically saying that she ain't go to dinner because of the dirty room accommodations. You know, girl, you just beating a dead horse, okay? So, and basically letting her know she was annoyed by that. So then you flash to Pinky. She on the phone with her husband. And, she telling him, the tall one, the giraffe one, name calling. So when we get to dragging you with all type of names, baby, just let it ride because you did some name calling during this episode, and I'm gonna point it out every time. So she said we got a wife in the basement. Well, if we did, if she could come help with some of these kids, then that girl, and he did not deny or confirm. That's the gag. But he basically missed her because them kids probably running amok and he don't know what to do like most men. But anyway, so we got some people meeting up for breakfast, I guess. You got Drew, Pinky, Shamina. Shamina walk in and Pinky let her know that ass is assing, baby. Allegedly. Probably paid some good money for it, Shoot. Fix a flat gold edition. Who knows? Allegedly, Shamia, allegedly. Okay. But you know, Drew said that she could barely sleep or whatever, that it was a lot going on the day before. And she's referring to the argument that Angela and Pinky had in regards to talking about each other finances and all that. And she's basically telling Pinky, you went there. So Phaedra comes in looking casket ready. Phaedra, mama, who doing your makeup, boo? Because I don't know what you're trying to hide, but baby, it is up under several layers of paint. And it don't look good, baby. It is just too much. I think y'all need to get with y'all makeup people and tell them to teach y'all or ask them to teach y'all how to do a natural beat. Because all that shit that early in the morning, girl, you look like Eartha Kitt or somebody. I don't know, Phaedra, but it was ugly, baby. So, Phaedra, even in her she basically was like Pinky on rah rah and nuck if you buck, you know. And Pinky is basically trying to say, well, I was defending my girls. You was defending some bitches you met 5 minutes ago. That hard to the point that you bringing up people finances and whether they husband like them or not, girl. I think in your mind you think this is what we want to see. And the thing about it, we do, but it has to happen organically. It got to really be a beef with you and Angela. And there was none. You just picked a side. So, anyway, um, Cynthia comes in. She lets them know that they're going to split the girls up. Going with her is going to be like Drew because she need backup for these hoes talking about this dirty room. Kelly, Shamina, and Pinky. And then the other crew is going to be like Phaedra, Porsha, Angela, and K. Michelle, the fun crew. So, they're going to do some type of horse riding or something like that. They're supposed to go do some type of horse saddling or whatever. I don't know what they're going to do really, but she asks Shamina how she sleeps. And she's still talking about she was sleep. She had to sleep with Kelly, your new BFF. And what if she had to um pass gas or something like that? And I'm like, girl, if you sleep, how you gonna know? And if you woke, you can't run to the bathroom, you can't spray some Chanel to mix with the smell and trying to tone it down. Girl, stop acting like that. And if she your girl like that, you should have been already farted in front of her or anything. What you eating? Something that crawled in your ass and dad? I don't understand, baby. It's a natural function. If you stop doing it, you die. Okay? So Pinky asks Drew how was her movie doing. And Drew basically says she's still waiting on her numbers. Then she asks Shamia, have she seen it? And Shamia's like, no, but I will be looking forward to seeing it. And that she don't have a problem with Drew. Yeah, you just don't want her to be cool with Porsha. That's all. So basically, Phaedra said, well, I'm glad y'all getting along and not fussing. And Shamina says, I apologize to her, whether she accepted or not. That's a backhanded apology, and I wouldn't accept that anyway. But Drew lets it be known that, yeah, you apologized, but it was a but. And that's why I couldn't accept it. And Shamia is pretty much like, you just want to have a problem with me. Well, it's the name of the show. Bitches with problems. Okay. So, Phaedra kind of slide in and say, Drew, do you accept her apology? And she's like, I didn't, because she had a butt with it. And, just don't accept it. Keep the beef up, whatever. Who even knows if you hoes coming back next year. So let's just keep going. So Drew, even in her confessional, says the apology was bullshit. Like that Mohawk bob she wore to Portia's party. Ooh, I thought it was a mullet, and I think it was cute. I think it was a little young though. Like I feel like anywhere from, and it's not aging, anywhere from like teens, 20s, early 30s, maybe even a mid, that would have been, with your little outfit and heels and everything. If you got the body, I think the right body and face can wear that mullet. I would have worn a mullet in the back in the day. I'm a little older, married, but yeah, I would have bust that mullet down with some color in it. So yeah, so again, they splitting up the girls. Cynthia and them supposed to be going to ride horses, and I'm sorry, Porsha, Phaedra, and Kay Michelle supposed to be going to ride horses, and Kelly, Pinky, Shamina, Drew, and Cynthia is supposed to be going cattle boarding, whatever the hell that is. And whatever it was, wasn't nobody interested in it. So we flash back to Porsha. She's talking about this, she's an equestrian, whatever the hell, person who rides horses and very skilled at it. Phaedra, boo boo. You try to make like you just this girl, you ghetto, okay? You make it like you got all this class and prestige, but girl, you ghetto. You ghetto with a whole bunch of damn makeup on. Where is the real Porsha up under that shit? Girl, you look a mess. Somebody need to tell you need to watch the shows and get you a makeup artist to come with y'all everywhere. Cause whoever did that shit to you in the morning, you scared me. So over back with Porsha now. Porsha come down in this little jean outfit and cowboy boots, red bottoms, looking like Thoughtlandia. And you my girl Porsha. Phaedra coming down looking, like a Bopsy twin, a little cowboy outfit on. you have K Michelle in the 579 outfit. It's kind of country, the bell bottoms and vests and everything. But Angela came down and totally missed the memo. She in a mood some dress, ask your mama, and some heels to go ride a horse. I'm like, Angela, you look like you're trying to go out with a date with Charles. Or you trying to catch something, girl? What the? I think they think because they on this show that they need to wear all this rainbow fashion nova looking allegedly little naked dresses to show body. When baby, you could put on a tank top, a Gucci blazer, and some damn fitted wide bottom jeans and some cute red bottoms and been nice, girl. You can dress your age and be nice looking instead of being just naked, but it didn't matter. So Porsha says, so they get to talking about the night before and the little argument. And Porsha basically says, I've been around people like Pinky, she's supposed to be vegan, but she be bringing a lot of beef. And so they do a montage of Pinky and this little short time. This is only episode 6 of her talking shit about Shamia, talking about Phaedra says she eat meat and and just different little digs she done took since she been there, like coming in hot, so to speak. So and they revisit why K Michelle didn't even come. And Kay was like, she didn't have glam. And Porsha lets her know, girl, don't you ever feel uncomfortable coming around to us not all made up. And that's to me a confidence thing. As I said in my previous video, girl, you can slap some damn powder on and some lip gloss and go on and work it. All that heavy shit out, it was unnecessary. So they get to talking about, they still keep talking about Pinky's, what they're calling her aggressive. And Kay is that her passion is like misconstrued as aggression. And then Phaedra basically says, yeah, because it's a difference between saying yeah and yeah. And it's like how you talk. And Porsha says she needs some meat. When you don't have protein in your body, the bitch is hungry. Good one, Porsha. So, K Michelle kind of defending her a little bit, like, well, she means well. But again, Pinky, you just met these girls 5 minutes ago. You're not letting the fans organically get to feel how they want to go with you. You coming in crying on the first episode, the second episode, oh, bankruptcy, oh, I got more. But then you try to smooth us over with a giveaway. You didn't send people to college and all this. Girl, it's all this debt. Then you got your husband on here talking about some don't file the backlash. She worried about backlash. You worried about survival. And it just seemed like y'all businesses is separate. And he gonna give you $5 million. Yeah, but you filed though, because that was on TMZ. That ain't no allegedly. But anyway, so they getting ready to go to Fun Girl. And it kind of flashes to Angela, about the thing that happened with her and Pinky, the argument. She was like, she's good. She said what she said. And she has a whole living wife. So Angela standing 10 toes down on it. Much like Porsha is standing 10 toes, like Kelly slept with this so-called man off an airplane during BET weekend that she had just met that was married. I'm gonna need you to come to the reunion and drop that name, Porsha. I'm gonna need you to drop it. And yeah, we want to know. Okay. So the ladies get in their separate vehicles and going on about their way. So in the vehicle with Cynthia, this is crazy because they're talking about Cynthia is just like asking them about the room, and I guess they didn't come in through the night. And it's probably a cleaning service that has hours, like, you call in the evening, tell them about the problem, and they come the next morning. So nobody came through the night. And Kelli is all on 10 trying to be basically uh in cahoots with Shamia. Like, you just expect, girl. Well, you expected that your baby daddy or your 3 kids would do what he was supposed to do. But yeah, he all up in courts and shit, suing you, don't want to do nothing, snatching vehicles back, got you sleeping in closet, allegedly. So baby, everything don't go like it's supposed to go. You act like, especially when it's a issue that has nothing to do with her. Like, it's no way Cynthia could have got there earlier and said, yeah, don't even worry about change sheets on this. I'm going to do these hoes like that. You are beating a dead horse, and we don't want to see it. So in the other car, the other girl, the van, they rocking out, they hype music. They got their hands up. They having a good time. Got the drinks flowing. So again, we paying back to Cynthia and them, and they get to talking about Black, and Drew says she loves him. And I was like, wow. So I don't know. I just thought he was probably a prop that came in, because all these women that come on these shows, they feel like they got to be connected to a man, because maybe the housewives or whatever, whether they're married or not, or they friend or boyfriend, they all feel like they got to be connected to a man. So they paying back to Porsha and them, asking K Michelle about Black, and then they show a DM. And K Michelle, here's the thing: either you know the guy or you don't. Why you keep talking about him? The very first time on screen, episode 1, it was like, he be in my DM. Whenever a woman says that about somebody you're dating or somebody you with, it can be, the thought process is, oh, he trying to holler at me. Oh, that's your man. He trying to holler at me. And it's a one up on the person to make them feel away. So we don't even care about you elaborating on the story. So we see that Porsha is producing by asking that question, but we really don't care. Okay. So, they paying back to the other ladies, Kelli, Shamina, Pinky, uh, Cynthia and Drew, and they at the cattle thing, and you got the cattle walking the street or whatever. Again, there's a horse, and Pinky says, "Look at Angela." Second name call. Okay, so she must. Let me tell you this, Pinky. Whatever in y'all argument, I don't know what was edited, how much got out, or whatever. Or I think the truth hurt worse than a lie. But you're clearly still bothered, honey. Like, Angela must have wrapped you up with a bow, because I thought it ended with you throwing a white flag. So the fact that you name calling, call that shit when she around. I know y'all separated, but when you see anything out of the eye or her weave or whatever, call that when she around, so Angela can respond, instead of waiting to the end for the reunion and then you gotta address all this. That's what I'm saying. So we paying back to the other ladies, Porsha, Angela, Phaedra, K Michelle, and they meet with this lady, and she wants to give them like a little tour of where the horses, say the stable or whatever, and they eat dinner. So one of the other ladies, she pulls the horse out that they're supposed to ride on, and the horse kind of bucks up. And let me tell you one thing for sure, and two things for real: I don't fool with no animals, because I have yet to meet a person to be like, no, I really understand what he said. Whether it's squirrel, possum, raccoon, small dogs, large dogs, or whatever. I don't fool with no animals because only person will understand them is somebody that is them. So I wouldn't have rode the damn horse no way, you know. Porsha had on this jean jacket. I don't know if she had some pasties on her boobs, but it or if it was glued to the jacket, but it was like a crop jacket. It didn't look like she had on no bra. You know, them titties was sitting. So Phaedra is out there acting like she oh, you ride the horse and you do this and then you say this, trying to act like she's so knowledgeable, like she been for years. So, long story short, then none of the girls want to ride the horse. And like I said, after he kind of bucked, I don't know, maybe one of their perfumes, maybe some bad spirits, I don't know. But the horse bucked. I wouldn't have got on his ass either. And if it would have been where the producers or whoever wanted you to continue, somebody to get on there, you would have to bring me another goddamn horse with a tranquilizer, you know. So we flash back to Cynthia and they come up on a bull that I guess you could take pictures on. You could sit on them and take pictures. It's like I don't know if it's like a prop or, something for picture taking. I don't know if it's a cost associated with it. So they all get up there and they pose on this bull, and he was pretty calm, like sedated. So I probably would have did that too, Something about they big eyes kind of like just, you know, bothers me. So they wind up after all of them, I believe all of them took a picture with the bull. They go to some restaurant to eat. And here's the gag. They go to a restaurant, they ordering all type of meat and stuff. And they're not a vegan restaurant. So the only thing Pinky was able to order was French fries. And I guess she's like, Cynthia don't care about me because you're bringing me to this restaurant with all this meat. But I don't think, again, another thing I don't think was personal. It's like, you got how many of y'all? 8, 9 of y'all, and everybody eat meat except you. You know what I'm saying? And to try to find accommodations for one person's when everybody else is eating. I know she did a vegan menu at the house. So again, it just seemed like you nitpicking and unappreciative, girl. It's like, I mean, if you don't like it, don't come back because this cast eat meat. If this is not your season and you don't show up at the reunion, don't come back, boo. Because it needs at least be 2 or 3 of y'all for it to even be a consideration. You know what I'm saying? So, anywho, uh, she'll be all right. So, Cynthia gets to talking about the fact that Pinky was bothered, and that she came in hot with the argument with Angela. And she was just like, I was just trying to keep up for my girls, and she's not even in my tax bracket. Another dig at Angela. Have you seen her finances? And I'm talking about the one combined with her husband, because that's one. Just because you and your husband shit seem like it's separate. You just seem like a hater, Pinky. I don't like it. And I'm not going to rag on your appearance or whatever because, baby, you letting us know your insecurities. Just keep talking. So they get to talking about the Phaedra, I'm sorry, the Kelli and Porsha situation. And they flash back to when Kelli said, Porsha need to stop trying to F everybody's husband. Well, long as she ain't trying to F yours, oh, sorry, you don't have one. You sleeping with ones on planes. Allegedly. Let me put my banner up. But Cynthia kind of just tells Pinky that her delivery and her tone is aggressive. And Cynthia says that it's curt, but she's very concerned that how did it just go left and the situation didn't even involve you? So Pinky says, well, they asked me how it was going in the room, so I communicated that. But it was the way you communicated it, girl. You know, I would not be no newbie on no show that you probably didn't binge watch, or maybe you didn't. You might have been just watching every season before you got on it. I mean, you was right in Atlanta, but to come with the mess, because again, like Cynthia said in the last episode, last time she looked, Shamina had a mouth and Kelly got a mouth. They ain't need you to advocate so hard, boo. So we don't need you to calm that down. Advocate for yourself. So her and Cynthia kind of going back and forth a little bit, not really, not with digs, but she just let Cynthia let her know, girl, you curt, and you know it's coming off aggressive. So in Pinky's confessional, she says that it's very offensive to call a black woman aggressive, and you know we about to let me get my violin. Girl, we do not want to hear the it's very aggressive to call a black woman. Girl, they'll call you that just based on how you look. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might not look soft enough to people. You know, you just gonna have to pick your battles. We're not gonna insert that in this situation because you was coming in hot for some hoes you just met. You know, so anyway, that was that. They get back to the house. Cynthia tired. She lay in her room. Drew come in. And let me just add, Drew, I don't know what the hell fountain of youth she been to, but Drew looked about 10 years younger. She looked like she did when she was on the game. Like mama's skin is skinned. I don't know what she done did. I don't know if it's a moisturizer. I don't know. Makeup a little light for me too. A little like Drew, but that face card, it ain't denying. Okay. So she just gets to talking and she talks about the apology and come to find out in their conversation, her and Shamina got the same blood type. And she was like, I would never get blood from her. She'd tell everybody. Then she'd be twerking on the blood and this and that, like a little montage, and they side by side social media doing all that, and she's mimicking her. It's shot like, you know, all the fake shit Shamia do. So it was kind of cute. So we flash back to the car of Porsha, Angela, Phaedra, and K Michelle, and they're talking about basically Shamina, and she said that she don't have a problem with Shamina K Michelle, and she feel like she a good person. She don't get nothing bad from her, and she was like she like chocolate girls. You know, she like. Now I was a little confused. I don't know if she joking. She said that chocolate girls are her preference. She get to sleep with them on holiday. Her husband will tell you, well, baby, I'm a chocolate girl, but I don't want no fish. Get your ass back, okay, Michelle. But anywho, all them hoes be gay for pay. Or just maybe it's some with living in Atlanta. I'm sorry, Atlanta people, but it just seemed like they running amok with the same sex. So they pan back to Cynthia and Drew and Cynthia room talking. And she asked her how she feel about Pinky. And, you know, Cynthia is saying that her energy is just a little undesirable. So, yeah. Because Cynthia's stance is, baby, I'm tired of hearing about this room. If you don't like your room, go. Just leave. And that's how it would be. And that's what they could have did. They did the same shit on Potomac. It was a different situation. The room wasn't dirty, but they didn't have water pressure, and you don't have water to flush. to brush your teeth, to wash your butt, then you leave, honey. That's all. That's all you have to do is just go bye-bye. And I agree with her. And it wouldn't have been no thing. The camera crew or somebody probably would have followed you to the near hotel, and it would have been more of a topic to talk about. Or you could have did that one night and then came back the next day. But you didn't want to do that because you want to stay close to the action. And baby, Porsha is the action. That's all I'm saying. But anywho, Cynthia just tired of that. And like I said, it's that stuff that's out of her hands. You know what I'm saying? So Porsha and them seemed like they had a blast at they little thing, you know, everybody was laughing. It wasn't nothing brought up negative. K Michelle was even joining in. It just went good. So the next thing is gonna be I guess it's the evening. So they're gonna go to a restaurant. And Cynthia whole thing, it's time to reset and get it going. So K Michelle actually has glam there. So everybody's getting ready. I assume it's the evening of that day. Everybody getting dressed and getting ready to go. And so they all pile in the Sprinter. And everybody looked cute. Porsha got on her little sexy outfit. Drew got on a cute little outfit. I don't know if it's pleather or leather, but it's cute. Got a lot of cleavage. She don't have no shirt up under it. She looks cute. Got the blonde crimps in her head. Angela has on like a red dress. Cynthia been dressing real moo-moo-ish. You know, I don't know if it's some weight gain somewhere. I don't know. But Cynthia, or maybe Cynthia got to be knocking on the door to 60. She probably like, my hot girl days is over for all that. Shamina got on like a little blue number or whatever. And Kelly got on some little shit from the toddlers section somewhere. You know, all her shit look custom cheap. Meaning it's made by somebody, but she ain't paying that much for it. So on the bus or in the Sprinter, Cynthia asks, you know, name something about people here that you didn't know or whatever. So K Michelle was like, she didn't know that Phaedra was actually nice. And she, like in the airport, I guess, a fan of the show noticed Phaedra, you know. And then Shamina, I'm sorry. Angela said that she didn't know Porsha was this cool or whatever. Porsha is a kiki. You could tell that she like to laugh and have fun, throw a little light shade. So then it gets to Shamina. And Shamina is basically like, she didn't know that K Michelle was so affected by Dylan, you know, by her, the Love and Hip Hop people, let's just say that, and that it had affected her so bad. But when she talked about it, it made her open her eyes to it. It sounded like a person who just wanted something to say, you know. So that was kind of the last something you ain't know about somebody that you found out on the trip. So Cynthia asks, anybody want to open the floor to anything else? So Kelly says she like to thank everybody to coming to her grand opening, grand closing. Did they come to that? And they bring up the fact like who was all there. I believe it was Angela. And Porsha is on the side of Angela making these faces. And we know Porsha wasn't there. And Porsha, you know, found out that she was calling her Horsha and talking shit. So Porsha never came, but she sent flowers. So, you know, they start having a little riff back and forth, you know, in regards to the married situation or whatever. And again, like I said, Porsha is standing 10 toes down on it. So basically, Kelly said she done effed everything in Atlanta. Men, women, dogs, everything, you know, I don't know. And she was like, you said I sleep with married men. And she was like, what married men? So Kelly is like, didn't you sleep with R. Kelly? Girl, you know you talking about Simon, bitch. Just say it, you know? And so Pinky in her confessional, like the bumping ground, R. Kelly. And Portia, like, oh, I see you read my book. Thank you for the buy. I believe she was talking to your old bestie. And it's no telling what your old bestie from childhood has told her. So be prepared for any type of daggers coming from anywhere. Because I know Shamina know a lot of bones in your closet. I know she do. So basically, Portia still hammering home, like, you know, the married man, you met him on the plane. I knew somebody, yada, 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 who shot John. So they get to talking about, you know, Portia, I don't even know how I slid in there, but she was like, you tried to scissor me. Girl, I tried to scissor you, hot chili cheese Fritos. I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't laugh. I was like, oh, you got her. It fell flat for me. And it's not because I like Portia more than you. It just seemed really rehearsed. And when you say hot chili cheese, it's making it seem like Portia got some type of venereal disease that you know about or heard about. It fell flat. You know, it would have did better with a loosey goosey. So they going back and forth, all the ladies telling them to calm it down. I think, well, apparently Phaedra knows who the married guy is too, according to them. And they were like, if they reveal the name, it's gonna hurt the wife. Well, hurt the wife and set her free. Because if her husband and made it to a show, that a national show that's seen around the world, and he was messing with her on a BET trip, she need to know, and she need to, if he got some money, she need to save herself and take half. Okay? Wouldn't you want to know if Apollo was doing something when you was with him? Wouldn't you want to know if Dennis? Well, you did know, and it happened. So they going back and forth, cussing each other out. I mean, it's really flat. Um, I mean, it was a good episode, but you know, the digs, unless it was edited, you know, and Portia just let her have that hot chili chicken. That girl sounded like some shit you put in the twins' lunch. It wasn't really all that for me. It wasn't, but you know, that was it. And then, you know, they on the way to dinner, hot and heavy, and yeah, that's all I got. I ain't got no more. So, like the video, comment on the video, share the video, do something with the video. And that's all I got. I ain't got no more. So I'll see you next week. Okay. Bye.